Hello, my viewers and returning subscribers. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Dr. Winnie the Pharmacist. A colleague of mine and a subscriber, and she's also a friend of mine, asked me to do a video to elaborate on how vitamin A could cause liver damage, because a few weeks ago I uploaded a YouTube short on things that could actually cause liver damage, and I said excess vitamin A supplement could cause liver damage. It's not only vitamin A that actually causes liver damage. Vitamins in excess cause liver damage. Excess vitamin A is a direct toxin to the liver. Whenever we take vitamins into the body and they are in excess beyond what the body can metabolize or break down, it could potentially cause liver damage. Let's look at vitamin A. Excess vitamin A is actually stored in the stellate cells of the liver. There are some cells in the liver called stellate cells, and that is where excess vitamin A is stored. When the vitamin A becomes excess, it leads to a cascade of events ranging from excess production of collagen, fibrosis. For those who are not medically inclined, fibrosis is production of fibrous tissue. Let me break it down for lay people who are watching. When you have fibrosis of production of fibrous tissue, it means that that tissue or that organ begins to scar, begins to get hardened. Production of, can you imagine liver, the part of the liver or a part of the tissue that is hard? Have you ever seen liver before? At least if you've not seen the human liver, you must have killed a chicken before, seen that of a cow or a goat. So the liver is actually a very soft tissue, but in this case, when there is fibrosis, that's production of fibrous tissue, the tissue becomes hardened. So imagine the liver that is supposed to be soft becomes hardened and then begins to scar. What I mean by scarring here, have you ever had a wound before and then it's healed? It leaves behind something we call a scar. I think that's the best way I can explain what fibrosis means for lay people. Like I said, we have fibrosis, we have excess collagen production, and ultimately we have liver injury. So we also have the activation of those stellate cells. The stellate cells become activated, and then hypertrophy occurs. Hypertrophy is the word for when an organ or a tissue begins to grow larger than normal. Eventually, this could lead to liver failure or liver injury or liver death. This is basically how excess vitamin A causes liver damage, and all these things could actually be avoided. I know that this is the era of supplements. A lot of supplements are marketed all over, and most of supplements are actually over-the-counter drugs, so they are easily accessible to the populace. However, you can now see from what I'm explaining to you this afternoon that excess vitamin A could be very detrimental. Most times people will normally look at more common causes of liver diseases or liver damage like alcohol, and they tend to look away from vitamins. And then sometimes, when someone comes down with fibrosis, which shows that the liver is beginning to get damaged, this is one of the things that happens when you have excess vitamin A accumulation in the liver. Fibrosis comes with quite a number of symptoms. I think we're going to do fibrosis as a separate video, but to make you to understand very well, fibrosis comes with quite a number of symptoms like dry cough, loss of weight. Some people want to lose weight voluntarily, but this one you just begin to lose weight. Dry hacking cough, tiredness, aching muscles and pains, aching joints, clubbing. When I say clubbing, I mean widening and rounding of the fingertips and the toes, that of the toes. So if you begin to have this kind of symptoms, or if you know someone who has this kind of symptoms, then it may be liver damage. I'm not saying it's necessarily liver damage, but these are signs and symptoms. And the funniest thing is that most times when people come down with these symptoms, they begin to treat for other things, or they go to the doctor and the doctor may not suspect or the pharmacist may not suspect that this is what is happening. So the pharmacist, most times the pharmacists and the doctors, they treat the symptoms instead of the underlying ailments. They want to calm down the symptoms. And then, the liver is an organ that metabolizes and breaks down drugs and food into wastes, and excretes them, helps us to excrete them out of the body. So when one already has liver issues and then you add more drugs, probably maybe the person has aches and pains, and then you're adding drugs like paracetamol, which is a very fast liver killer, that's insult upon injury. In Africa especially, I don't know for other African countries, but in Nigeria there's a disease that we suffer from quite often. That's malaria. Malaria usually comes with aches and pains, and like I mentioned earlier, fibrosis too comes with such symptoms. So most times when people have liver issues here, it takes them quite a while to get to know, because most times the first thing on the physician's mind, maybe you have, after clocking you, or even many people do self-medication, especially in Africa. They say, oh, malaria, aching joints and pains, whereas you're just damaging the liver more and more, because for someone with a compromised liver, the quantity of drugs that he should be taking in should be lesser than one who is normal. So I'll advise as a pharmacist that if one must take supplements, he has to seek the opinion of his or her healthcare provider. We have a lot of healthcare providers. You have your doctors, you have your that's the physicians, and then you have the pharmacist who is a custodian of drugs and is knowledgeable about the implication of drugs on the body. So that's my general advice. And I would like you to also know that fibrosis, once it has started, it actually has no cure. It's only palliative measures. When we say palliative measures, is you try to soothe it and then calm it and then bring it down at the moment, but ultimately there's no cure, and that's why liver damage leads to death ultimately. Like I said, the aim of this video is not to scare anybody, but to just enlighten people and to educate them. I've seen several times when people have shortness of breath all the time they have shortness of breath. They are always tired. Oh, I'm this person said, I'm always tired, I'm tired, and then you are thinking that probably it's maybe the excess work that you have been doing, or stress. Well, stress too can cause someone to be tired all the time, but we need to look into all these things. I know we all want good eyes, we want to supplement the vitamins and minerals that we do not get from food and all that, so that we live good lives. But in as much as we all want a better life, excess of these medicines or drugs are also detrimental to our system. And I'm sure some people may not like what I'm saying, but especially maybe I'm spoiling the market or for drug companies, but it's not like that. You should take drugs only when they are necessary. Sometimes we don't need them. Quite a number of things are very rich in vitamin A, egg yolk, green leafy vegetables, and the likes. You have enough vitamin A, you don't even need to go and look for supplements. Well, I'm not saying that supplement is bad. That's what I have to say for today. If you know anybody that has such symptoms as I mentioned, like the ones that come with fibrosis, please check with your doctor or do a checkup so that you make sure that it's not anything that has to do with the liver, because the liver is a very vital organ that cannot be replaced. That said, that'll be the end of my video for today. I plead with you to kindly like my videos, share, and subscribe, and also make your comments. Put down your comments or questions in the comment section, and I'll answer them as much as possible. Thank you.